Hi, welcome to Sons on Mathematics, and this is part 3 to these math questions that I'm answering. I need to... Alright, you should probably be able to read all this. Let me see. Use my... Yeah, you should be able to see all that. So it says, question number 3, in the function h of x equals this, find h of 0, h of 4, and h of negative 1. I'm going to rewrite this one. That's a negative 1. Ta-da. Okay. So, if you guys were watching videos 1 and 2 to this series, by now you have some experience with what are called piecewise functions. And piecewise functions are just a set of different equations that are all on one graph together. And they all have different ranges for how long they are on this graph for. So basically h of x, you might be able to guess that these numbers 0, 4, and negative 1 are the x values. So all you need to do is find where the domain is for each x value. Which equation are you plugging this number into? So h of 0 is the function for whenever x is 0. So these equations are all working equations, but h of 0, you can only plug it in to the equation that has that domain. So I know that that domain is this middle equation, x squared plus 4, because the range here is in between negative 1 and 2. I think I have a pretty good visual idea for how to do this. So I'm going to create a timeline from the point negative 5 to positive 5, okay? So let's just create a timeline. Negative 5, negative 4, so forth and so forth. I'm just going to put a bunch and hope that gets us to 5 on the other side. Wow, yeah, it was the perfect amount. Awesome. So we need to find the domain for when it's at 0, this one right here. So what I'm just going to do first is just rewrite what all this is saying. Negative 5 to negative 1, it's this whole range. That is the equation 3x plus 1. Then from negative 1, and if you guys see there's a less than sign and not a less than or equal sign. So that actually means it does not include negative 1. It's right before it, basically. Okay? And then the x squared plus 4 is the one that goes from negative 1 to positive 2. And I'm just going to put that one down here, just so you can like see kind of better, hopefully. And that is the x squared plus 4 equation. It's between negative 1 and 2. And as you can see, 0 is in that range. So we're going to be using the x squared plus 4 for the first part for question A, h of 0. And then the last one is between right after the 2. I say right after 2 because it's a less than sign. It's not a less than or equal sign. So it goes right after the 2 point, all the way to 5. Yeah, and that is negative 7x. So h of 0, we are using this one. Yeah. H of 4, we would be using this one right here, the negative 7x. And h of negative 1, we're actually still using this one, the x squared plus 4. So it's a bit of a trick there. You're not actually using this one at all ever in this question. It's kind of annoying, but that's okay. And that's because negative 1 does not actually apply to this first one. That's why it's really important to know the difference of less than or equal. The equal part is what allows you to include the number you're looking at. This one does not actually include negative 1 in this equation. It includes right up before negative 1, which does make a difference when you have to evaluate that exact point. You would have to use a completely different equation, and you would get a completely different value. So h of 0, we just plug in 0 to this equation. So when h of x equals x squared plus 4, we just put in 0 for everything that is x. H of 0 equals 0 squared plus 4. And so that's h of 0 equals 0 plus 4. And h of 0 equals 4. Yeah, a lot of zeros in there, but it's just the number 4. So the answer to question A is 4. And then h of 4, we're using this equation over here, negative 7x. So let me see if you can see over here. Yeah, you can. Okay. H of x equals negative 7x. So then we plug in the number 4 to wherever x is at. H of 4 equals negative 7, and I write parentheses 4, or it's negative 7 times 4. You can get out your calculator. The answer to that is going to equal negative 28. So the answer to question B is negative 28. Question C, you are using this same equation here, the x squared plus 4. So I'll write it side by side. H of x equals x squared plus 4. H of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared plus 4. Negative 1 squared, it equals positive 1. Anything squared is always going to be positive. So it's 1 plus 4. So then h of negative 1 equals 5. Ta-da! And so that is how you answer questions A, B, and C to the piecewise function for question number 3. All right, so that was question 3. Hopefully that all got in the camera angle. At some point in the future, I'll find a certain setup where it like totally works, like 10 out of 10 times, and so forth. But yeah, I hope that was helpful to if anyone is listening, and I'm wishing you all well and to have a fantastic day. Take care.